Good morning. It's turned out nice again. Actually, it hasn't, guys. The sky is very grey. Don't tell anyone, but we're forecast rain here for the next 2 weeks, right? It's very dark. I might have to put the light on soon. Anyway, how are you doing? You alright? I feel a bit better. I don't have the sore throat now, but I do have a chesty cough, so I'm afraid you might be subjected to a bit of that through the video. Thanks very much to Martin Mason in the comments yesterday saying that I look old. Cheers, mate. In all fairness, I'm only a couple of years off 50, so I'm not getting any younger, but I have been ill the last few days, mate, alright. And yesterday, I only had about 2 hours kip because we were on here on the stream the night before having a few sherbets, so I know I've got a face for radio, so you don't have to remind me, alright. Anyway, how you doing? How you all doing? You alright? So, if you're new to my channel is it's aimed at people that have followed me and KopTalk. That's my dog, if you can hear, shaking away in the background. My channel's aimed at people that, followed KopTalk for many years. So if you're new to my channel, you're really, welcome to hang around and stay here. But you're not going to get, really short videos. You're not going to get prepared videos. You're not going to get me reading from a script. You're going to get all sorts of different conversations and me going off and because this is this is authentic. There's no fancy studio. I'm just here making a cup of tea in my kitchen in the morning before I start work on KopTalk for the day. So and if you are new to my channel, I think it's important from transparency that before I continue this video how I feel about FSG. And I would not describe myself as an FSG hater or anti-FSG, but I'm equally not pro-FSG. I don't like them, but I don't dislike them either. I have no time for them, I don't think they're football people. I think their primary objective was just to make money. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's not rocket science. I don't believe they saved us, but I do believe that they stabilised the club. The club, as Rafa would say, for sure. They've done a lot of good things for the football club, especially that benefit them in the long term. So they could come in, they invested their money, they took the risk, they took the gamble, they've made lots of money, they can leave with all of that money. I ain't got a problem with that, right, at all. But they're just not football people. And that's why I would support the takeover of the club from the Middle East, for example, because they're absolutely mental when it comes to football and the passion. And I think that people from that region are football first, finances second, and I don't think that applies to FSG. So I don't like to see people saying, attacking John or his beautiful chick, on social media. I don't like to see that. And I also don't like to see someone that speaks up for FSG and says, look, I'm happy, reasonably happy with their ownership. If you see that in the comments, I don't want to see you jumping on someone, and hating on them just because they've got a different opinion to you and I. It's something I will never allow on here. On the live streams on a Saturday night or in the comments on here, there are 2 or 3 people that, speak up quite often for FSG, and they're very welcome here. And I want everyone to always feel welcome here. I don't care where you're from or anything. You're welcome here. Just be nice to each other, please. Now, this video is going to be about Spineless Jamie Carragher. And I say Spineless because that's the comments that I saw on social media last night following his quotes about the owners. Excuse me. Now, I'd never ever prepare when I do a video like this in the kitchen. I'm here making a cup of tea. This is my first cup of the day. I've just got up. But I have got his quotes in front of me on my tablet. And the reason I've done that is if you are a long-term viewer of my content or follower of my work, you know that I like to be very specific about what people say. Sometimes people over the years have read something I've said or listened to something I've said and then slightly changed it a little bit, even with no bad intent, and it can give off a total different message. So because this is really important, I wanted to make sure I've got the exact quotes. Now, why is it really important? Well, because this is Jamie Carragher. This is someone that we think is a Liverpool legend, that we respect, that gave his all for Liverpool Football Club. This is a big deal, what he says. And I just think because it's such a sensitive subject, I think we need to be spot on. I don't want to stand here and go, well, I think he said, or he said words to this. Anyway, so he said, I do not blame FSG one bit for what is happening at Liverpool. People will now say I'm an apologist, but I look at the staff, the players and the recruitment team. Well, first of all, FSG are responsible for the staff and what goes on below them, but that's by the by. And he said, let me have a look, I'm going to try and find it. I want to be sure. There was something else he said as well. There was money there for a midfield player. The lad from Real Madrid, they tried to sign for 60 to 70 million. Jurgen Klopp and the recruitment team then decided to not buy a midfield player. That is on them. Now, to an extent, you could, say that's right. They haven't, they've made other signings and not a midfield player. I would argue, yeah, Jamie, of course. There was, the manager had all that backing to do what he wanted because that's why we signed Arthur Melo, And if we hadn't have, if we had got that lad, right, we wouldn't have had the money for Nunes and stuff like that. So we all know what we need. We know that the boss wants a midfielder, but do you not think if he could have brought in Nunes and a decent midfielder, he would have done? I would argue yes. And, it was only a few weeks ago, that Carragher was banging on about how much investment's needed in the team. And, now suddenly it's not the owner's fault. He won't blame them one bit. And I'm really, really disappointed in what Jamie Carragher said there, because I think even the most pro FSG people must surely be able to turn around and say, well, all right, I like him, but if we had got him, that's at Real Madrid, we wouldn't have had the money for Nunes. And why did we sign Arthur Melo? Arthur Melo, might as well have signed Arthur Daly. I was saying on the stream the other night, I think, I don't know, I had a few drinks, but I wouldn't recognise him if he walked past me in the street. Do you know what I mean? Arthur Melo. So, Carragher is being totally wrong with this, guys. And this is why I started my video by saying, look, being transparent, this is what I think about FSG, and I respect absolutely everybody's right to an opinion about FSG, right? But I can't believe Jamie Carragher saying I wouldn't blame them one bit. I just can't believe it, that he could say something so naive that the manager has opted to sign Nunes, and not a midfielder. It was one or the other, and I guess they couldn't make certain things happen. If he could have had both, I bet you we would have found another midfielder. It's the most bizarre opinion I've heard from anyone in football to do with Liverpool Football Club for ages. And it's really, really disappointing. Really disappointing me, right? And just because he's a former Red, just because he's a local Red, even though the Blue Nose connection, just because he's like a warrior or was a warrior for Liverpool Football Club, and by default he doesn't have to be anti-FSG and FSG out, you know what I mean? If he wants to be a top Red, that's on him. So I don't think like that. I don't think, well, that's disappointing because I want you to call the owners out. No, I just think if it had said something else like, well, to be honest, FSG, they've done all right. I ain't got a problem with them really. I can understand that they maybe need more finances, or they haven't got the resources. If he'd have said something like that was still in favour of FSG, I'd have said, fair enough, Jamie, yeah. But to say that they're not responsible one bit, or he doesn't blame them one bit, and then to use examples of transfers and then try and blame the recruitment team and the manager is... I am stunned. Absolutely stunned. And, people are saying he's spineless, he's this, he's kissing there, what. I'm trying not to swear on my videos these days because YouTube keeps telling me off after every upload. But I think back to when George Gillette and Tom Hicks had the club, when we expected people like Jamie Carragher to step up and speak out. And from my memory, I might be wrong, maybe he did eventually, but I don't remember him calling them out. If my memory serves me rightly, it was Pepe Reina that went for him. Someone not even, with that close affiliation to the club like Jamie Carragher. So, I can't believe he said it, guys. I can't believe he said it. Like, you know, what's Jurgen Klopp thinking when he sees that? I'd be raging. There's no wonder Jurgen Klopp's pulling up people like James Pearce in press conferences, is there? Could you imagine I'd be like that? I'm trying not to swear. Astounded. Absolutely astounded by those comments. And I think even if he'd have just said, I don't blame them one bit, you know, they're all right, I'd have gone like, okay, but then to add that other little bit and make out that, you know, that basically that there was more resources and more finances there for the manager. He could have got a midfielder and that lad as well. He wouldn't have got both. Absolutely no chance. There's no way if we'd have signed that kid that we'd have got Núñez at the same time, you know, the same period or whatever. Absolute mental by Jamie Carragher. Absolutely mental. And I'm trying not to swear. What is an alternative to saying I, S-H-I-T, you not? You won't believe this. Maybe not, yeah. Listen, you are allowed to swear on YouTube, but YouTube keep flagging every of my uploads at the moment. I appeal and I win every appeal, but it takes forever and I just can't be doing with it, so I'm trying to avoid. They'll probably still flag it anyway. But anyway, people keep saying do the tripod videos, that's where I absolutely go mental. And we'll be doing them on Rumble, rumble.com/KopTalk. Make sure you're subscribed over there. Oh my God. Anyway, so I not, right? You won't believe this. That doesn't sound as effective, does it? When I went to bed last night, and when I woke up this morning, it was on my mind, because as you know, people that watch my videos know, I always think, why? Why am I hearing this? Why am I seeing this? So, you know, when you see a claim in the newspaper, for example, and a source said this, I'm always thinking, who wants us to know that? Who does it benefit? So I was doing a similar thing with Jamie Carragher, and I'm laid in bed last night, and when I woke up this morning, because I knew I was going to do this video, I was like, why? Why did Jamie Carragher say that? You might argue, well, because it's his opinion. All right, yeah, I get that. The FSG, a bit, an opinion, I get that. But then to sort of like criticise the manager, I'm thinking, what's the purpose of that? And I can't think, there's nothing there. You know, I have not come back with a reason where I thought, well, Jurgen said something about people in the media, or he's had a dig about someone on Sky Sports saying something last night, which could have been Jamie Carragher, and he's biting back, because they all do it. And it's just, I didn't find it very helpful towards Jurgen Klopp, if I'm completely honest with you. And I was trying to find out why he would want to, you know, say things that FSG would like to hear. Like, why would FSG, why would he want FSG to go, that's very nice of Jamie Carragher to say that, isn't it, John? You know what I'm saying? No, that's more of an English accent, but no, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to be American. I was just saying that John Henry wouldn't speak like that. But I don't, you know, it's really, I don't know. Maybe I read into things too much. In this example, maybe it's just an opinion. But at a time when the manager is, you know, looking absolutely completely lost. Someone posted a comment on here yesterday and said, do you feel like, you know, Jurgen Klopp needs an arm putting around him? And you know what? I think he probably does. You know, this isn't helpful, is it, when you've got Melissa Reddy, you know, sticking the knife in, not on Jurgen Klopp, but, you know, is one of his right-hand men that is basically Jurgen Klopp's decisions, if you like. And, you know, this is it. Basically, if you're saying that your coach, there's a problem with a coach at Anfield, and, you know, Jurgen Klopp's the manager and he's not doing anything about it, he's indirectly stabbing the knife into Jurgen Klopp. It's certainly making his life more difficult and making the day-to-day situation at Liverpool more difficult. You know, that's not helping. Jamie Carragher's not helping. The FSG bit, there's no problem with saying that, right? Even though I disagree with it and question it. But to then try and say, well, it's not them, it's the manager, and they've not gone for that. I can't believe it, right? That's just not helpful. So you've then got Jurgen Klopp biting James Pearce you know, putting him in his place the other day, which was great to see. But if we're on it, that's only because James Pearce is smug and he puts the fans down sometimes, and I don't like that. But it's funny when it first happens, but later I think, oh, it don't look very good for the club, really. You know, it's not good. And funny but not good. It just shows you that the boss he's struggling, and he's got like people like Jamie Carragher now putting more pressure on him. You know, we all know Jurgen Klopp, you know, and all that, right? He's giving it all all the time, right? Do you know what I mean? And listen, I'm going to let you into a little secret. Don't tell anyone this, right? When I'm in a group scenario with my friends, or if I bump into people, or the perception of the people that know me, right? They're like, big dunk, man, he's always got a grin on his face, he's always smiling, he's always trying to make people laugh. Big Dunk could never be sad or depressed or anything like that. I'm probably one of the most emotional, softest people going. You know, don't be fooled by the ride and all that. And the thing is, men, right? I can't speak for all men, but men, I'm a man, believe it or not. I've still got everything down there, right, girls, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes don't want to admit weakness, right? So I would not really, I mean, I'm admitting it a little bit with you guys because you're my friends, you know what I'm saying? But what I mean is, you know, if I'm really like depressed and run down, and someone said, "How are you feeling? You all right today?" I'd go, "Yeah, mate, yeah, I'm good, yeah, I'm all right, yeah." You know, and then when I'm back on my own again, I'm like, "Man, I'll do myself in, man." You know, we all have them moments, yeah. And the reason I'm saying this is because you've got Jurgen Klopp, and he's giving it rock hard. You know, he's got character, as Brendan Rodgers would say. What's Jurgen Klopp like when he sat on his own at home? You know, he sat on his own last night. Well, maybe not on his own, but what I mean is when he's not, when I say on his own, I mean away from the football, you know, and the excitement and the passion. Is he sat on his sofa at home going, boom, 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 because Happy Valley's on, you know what I mean? I don't watch that, by the way. Or is he sat there like a bit run down and sad, and you know what I mean? So who's looking out for him? Some people say, well, he's paid enough money, don't you? Yeah, I know. And he's not immune from criticism, guys. Trust me, he's not. He's not immune from criticism. You know, some team selection, some tactics, some decisions he makes. That's a manager. We're always going to have that, right? But you can't judge that man, right? Right now, with what's going on, you can't blame him for all of it. For it's them. You know, I disagree with Jamie Carragher, because we had this in the video the other day, didn't we, where I said about the painter, and you know, he starts off with a great brush and that, but after so many years his tools are fading away or whatever. Some of the comments on that video were absolutely great, by the way. Did he get the sack? Did he keep the job? Yeah. No, another decent decorating company hired Dave and gave him the tools he needs to do, and he's never been so happy, and he's once again proven himself to be the fine painter and decorator that he is. You know what I mean? So, it's a mess from top to bottom, and I think I've said what I want to say, to be honest with you. I think I've said what I want to say. I hope you don't watch this video and think Dunk's just angry with Jamie Carragher because he's not saying FSG. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. You know, people tag me in comments on Twitter at Duncan Oldham, by the way, and whether insulting John Henry or something like that. I think I got one tag yesterday. Someone mentioned James Pearce, and it wasn't particularly very nice. It wasn't anything to cry about if you're James Pearce. It was someone having a dig at you and they tagged me in it, and I don't like that because it makes it sound like, you know, I'm agreeing with that. You know, I don't believe in hating on anyone, guys. I really don't. I think it's fair to say, right, James Pearce, I'm going to call you out for this. John Henry, I'm going to call you out for this. Jamie Carragher, I'm going to call you out for this. And they can call out people. I mean, you often see managers calling out the fans or, you know, pundits or whatever. I think we're all allowed an opinion, right? But I don't like that. I don't like hate. I don't like that. Jamie Carragher, what was he thinking? I've nearly finished, don't worry. That's not a bad cuppa, actually. I've run out of my Yorkshire tea biscuit from John McCafferty that was on the stream the other night. Said he's going to send me some. He's a good lad, he's John. He's good. What's your thoughts? What do you think about Jamie Carragher? It has to be it just has to be opinion, I think, from Jamie Carragher, because I can't see motive there in any way, shape or form. Do you know what I mean? Just don't get it. I don't get it. What I don't get, just to be clear, don't have a problem with his opinion. I just don't understand how he cannot see. You mind? See, Gary Lineker doesn't have this problem, does he, when he's on match at this? Down your little. Nothing on the opinion. I just don't know how someone so experienced and apparently knowledgeable, although Manchester United fans have been pointing out, you know, his comments about the centre back there. Anyway, don't mind, we're not bothered about them. Right? I just don't understand how anybody, any of you guys, right? But Jamie Carragher saying that the boss basically didn't do that, so he went for someone else. He said, why did we sign out for Melo on loan if the manager's got all the resources and everything? Oh my God, I mean, he's like just ridiculous. What's it all about? How did he not, how did he say that? Alright, I'm going to shut up or else I'll be having that triple heart attack that's been waiting for years. Which reminds me. Blood pressure medication. Jamie Carragher killed Big Dunk. Don't matter. Let me know what you think.